almighty and eternal God, you have created the universe and everything in it. You have called us into existence and blessed each of us with all that we are and all that we have. Even your Son, Jesus Christ, born as a child, had to learn to walk and speak, to read and write, and learn the carpenter's trade. And so it is with us, born of woman, passing through infanthood and childhood to where we are now in life. We thank you for each step of the journey, for our homes and our parents, from whom we may have first heard our own name and your name, and in whose arms we first experienced love. We thank you for days of childhood, of learning, of living with worry and without, of having shelter and security. We thank you for our days of youth, for those who have taught us in school and in church. We thank you for our class of 1991 and for all that has led us to the milestone of this day. Bless us as we continue to grow. Forgive us, Father, whenever we as adults have not provided good examples and adequate help and guidance for our young people. Forgive those of us who are young whenever we have failed to follow advice, good examples, and teaching. Forgive us through Jesus Christ, who paid for our shortcomings with his death on the cross. Help us, Father, to learn from the example of your Son. As he faced temptation, armed with your word and with prayer, so help us to be strong. As he set his heart to fulfill his mission, so enable us to find and follow your will and purpose for our life. As he loved and served, help us to love and serve you, as we have been loved and served by you. With all of this, we come to you in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Never, never give up. These words make up an entire speech given by Winston Churchill during World War II. The British people were under heavy attack by German planes, and on the front, thousands of soldiers were dying. Churchill's words have echoed through my mind for the past 9 years. Since kindergarten, I found schoolwork difficult, and by 4th grade, I would cry myself to sleep at night, frustrated trying so hard, yet making little progress. When others took 15 minutes to complete their math assignment, it took me an hour. Helping me as I struggled with math, my mother would say, "Never give up." Sometimes we would pray. Sometimes we would cry. Many of you have felt this way before, but for all of us here today, the words "never give up" have been the catalyst that brought us here together. Our education has been a combination of many things. Life's experiences are part of that education. Some of our experiences have been happy, such as being part of a supportive family, vacations, birthdays, and special holidays. Other experiences have been painful, such as living through a family divorce or separation, physical and emotional problems, death of loved ones, or living with a learning disability. Everyone has some type of disability in his life. Some are too short for basketball or too slow for soccer. But for me, the hardest part of my education was listening in a classroom. The auditory messages from my ear were not going fast enough to my brain. Trying desperately to compensate and always wanting to do my best, I began reading lips. After many tests, my auditory processing and language disorder was diagnosed. At age 10, I found I could get help. It would not be easy, but I could learn if I never gave up. We have all faced handicaps. We didn't give up. We sidestepped and we went on. Everyone has felt like quitting at one time in his life. I wanted to be a 4th grade dropout. Many nights since, it has taken me 3 hours to do an essay that has taken many of you only 1 hour to do. Some of you wanted to quit when your parents divorced or when you were cut from the basketball team. Remember when we cried in despair over automobile accidents, injuries, and the death of our friends? Remember how difficult and disappointing it was when a parent, teacher, or best friend let us down? It was lonely when we didn't have a friend to understand our pain. Along with you, I faced many of these difficulties, at the same time fighting a learning disability. Yet, not one of us quit. When difficulties in our life's experiences, as they will, certain things or caring people can make a difference and help us overcome obstacles and defeat. Remember when Mrs. Wright always had time to listen? Or when a teacher gave you a word of praise? Remember when a friend gave you a hug just when you needed it? For me, the Delta Award gave me motivation to work toward my goal of becoming a nurse. Many of us have received other awards in recognition that gave us a little more encouragement to go on. One of those recognition awards was last October, when every one of us had a chance to see the talents of the whole class in a Canterbury walk. All of us were beautiful together. All of these things have helped us. The support from teachers, family, and friends, and for me, my faith in God, that He would help me through any trial. When we were ready to quit, someone or something was always there to help us through. Caring people helps us to help ourselves, and we need to not give up. This is the best lesson we have learned. Because we have not given up, we now have the choices of going to college or vocational school, starting a family, or getting a job. We have all overcome obstacles, and we are all here today. However, as we make choices and go on with our lives, let us be thankful for the encouragement and motivation from people along the way, including our classmates who helped us live these words. Never give up. Never give up. Never, never, never give up. You know, I can still hear my mother saying, never give up. For every one of us here today, there is a voice. A mother, father, brother or sister, a teacher or friend who brought us to this point in our lives. You are these people, and we welcome you to our graduation.
"24-year-old Pietro Mastresi left the port of Naples, Italy, aboard the vessel North America to seek his freedom and fortune in the United States. 13 days later, he arrived in the port of New York with nothing but his will to succeed and his desire to make a living for himself in America. He labored for years on the rail lines, married, and had 9 children. This man was my great-grandfather. And like him, we must all go out to that new world after graduation with nothing but our wills to succeed and our desires so that we may contribute to society in the ways that it needs. Times have changed, though, since my great-grandfather immigrated to this country. Today we live in a world of mass transit, technological advancements, and a quickening pace. Today's society around the world is no longer one of simplicity either. In fact, it is one that is oftentimes cruel. During the days of January this past year, it took a violent confrontation with the nation of Iraq to bring Americans out of their fast-paced world, to show the rest of the world what patriotism in its true sense is. I commend and welcome home our courageous men and women from the Persian Gulf, but it is unfortunate that such an incident that hits close to home is the kind of event that needs to bring people together. Our society has become less involved in world affairs and is more concerned with today, the here and now, and not with what consequences Americans will face tomorrow. The images of tabloid television programs and newspapers exemplify how our nation has declined from one whose status was on the rise, as when my great-grandfather came here, to one that now ranks below other countries in economic stability and educational resources. Our country has not only experienced a recession, but the educational system of the United States has also declined over the past 4 decades. Education, in a sense, has become easier for the modern U.S. student, leaving him unprepared for the advancing world he will face, compared to students of other nations, such as Japan. In 1906, when my great-grandfather came to this country, America was a land of opportunity, a place where one could come, worship, work, and make a living freely. Today, that dream is diminished, but it is our duty to reinstate that dream. We are the ones that bring America back to the country it once was. We are the ones that bring America back to preeminence in the world. And we are the ones to whom the torch is passed, lighting the way, beckoning all those to come to the United States to invest in its future. We should work together as Americans and citizens of the world the way we did during the conflict in the Gulf, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There need be no threat to world democracy or belligerent aggression to bring nations of the world together. We must all live on this planet together, and with cooperation, it will be a much easier task. With education, we, the younger generation of Americans, can demonstrate that will to be the best. And as John F. Kennedy stated in his inaugural address, let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans, born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by hard and bitter peace, and proud of their ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed, and to which we are committed today at home and around the world. We must be willing to bring our country back to greatness once again. There is still promise that our great country can be what it once was. All it will take is a little guidance and faith in what the American people can accomplish. Pride in country and self by each individual will lead the United States to a future of success. For such success, we must get back to simpler values and virtues and revive them in the fast-paced world of today. Virtues such as those learned from our families and our friends, which make up the foundation of our society. Too often we overlook the importance of these fundamental building blocks. Next year we will be out on our own, but we must never forget to look back on the experience that we gained from our families and our friends. In addition, we must look forward with our new friends in the hopes of achieving all possible goals and making a difference in the world.
Although you will not find this in your program, at this time I would like to make a notation that
the advisors would like to give the graduates a special honor or award, I'd like to call upon at this time the advisors, Mrs. Robbins and Ms. Hannafin, for a special gift that they have for the graduates of 1991.
Class of 1991, it has been a most memorable and enjoyable 4 years. I would like to thank you for all the memories you've given me and all the lessons that you have taught me yourselves these past 4 years. And once again, I'd like to remind you that each one of you can be as successful as you please in any area you choose to pursue. And to highlight that point, I'd like to read you a poem. The title is Success, and it was written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Thank you for a wonderful 4 years, and congratulations.
At this time, we would like to give out numerous awards that will be received by the graduates. Most of the graduates do not know of these awards, so we hope that they're a pleasant surprise yet to be given. The advisors will assist me in awarding the prizes, and I would like to remind the graduates, if your name is mentioned, please come down to the podium and receive your prize.
The AFS American Field Service Scholarship winner, Dawn M. McAvinney. the American Legion Scholarship, there are 6 winners: Michael E. Basil, Nora E. Dennison, Greg J. Doyle, Heather D. Gagne, Constance E. Marr, and Travis R. Williams. The Bausch and Lomb Honorary Science Award, winner Michael J. Cagliati. The Dr. R. Carl Brigham Award, winner Jeffrey T. Herbst. The Abram R. Bulis Prize in Mathematics, winner Michael H. Wooden. The Bulis Family Scholarship, that should be in your commencement program. The Nettie A. Bulis Prize in Business, Michelle M. Mankey. Also, the Chase Lincoln First Bank Award to Michelle M. Mankey. The Class of 1985 Tammy Bauer Memorial Scholarship to Dawn M. McAvinney. The 1978 Class Betterment Award, 2 winners, Tina M. Newman and Marie L. Sevens. The Class of 1962 Scholarship, Scott D. Procius. The Class of 1984 Unity Award, Christine M. Soberide. The Class of 1952 Yearbook Award, Jason T. Smith. The Coaches Most Valuable Player Award, Christine M. Greer and Brian P. Nolan. The CSEA Award to Michael T. Cowell and Peggy Baldock. The Denison Welker Community Award to Heather A. Commodore. The Nelson and Lucille J. Award to Christopher L. Francis. The Tracy Lee Dickinson Memorial Scholarship to Karen M. Niedermeyer. Farmington Volunteer Fire Department Scholarship to Jeffrey P. Cadlacek. The William J. Finnerty Award to Sally J. Hayes. The Marjorie Fry Memorial to Eric J. Knapp. The James H. L. Gallagher School Fund to Michael J. Cagliati. The Frank A. Granger Palmyra Betterment Club Award to Erica J. Ormsby. The Agnes McLeod Griffith Award to Nora E. Dennison. The Henry W. Griffith Award to James P. Moran. The following award was awarded earlier. The Hoffman Foundation Scholarship, third place winner to Patricia L. Kinnear. The J.F. Kennedy Award to Allison L. Cook. The following award was also earlier presented. The Macedon Chamber of Commerce Scholarship Award presented to Kathleen S. French. The Macedon Masonic Lodge number 665 winner, Heather A. Palmyra. The Marine Midland Bank Scholarship to Denise E. Blanco. The Augustine Marvin Memorial Scholarship to Sally J. Hayes. The Walter B. McCann Band Award to Jason T. Smith. The Walter B. McCann Music Award to Tracy A. Walshfellow. The George P. McLaughlin Memorial Scholarship to Nora E. Dennison. The McLeod Chevrolet Award in Mathematics to Edward J. Moscow III and in Language to Michael J. Cagliati. The Charles Wellesley Minor Award to Nora E. Dennison. The Rob Nolan Scholarship Award to Brian P. Nolan. The Palmyra Macedon Faculty Association Scholarship winner, Heather A. Palmyra, alternate Don M. McAviney. Palmyra Macedon Select Choir Award to Tracy A. Walshfellow. The Palmyra Rotary Club Award, 2 winners, Christopher H. Waite and Karen M. Niedermeyer. The E.R. Parker Award, there are 6 winners and 2 alternates. The winners are Jennifer L. Fichette, Jeffrey T. Hurst, Patricia L. Kinnear, James P. Moran, Jason T. Smith, Tracy A. Walshfellow. 2 alternates, Jeffrey P. Kadlasik and Christine M. Sobri. The Roland Page Smith Award to Heather D. Gagne. The Sousa Band Award to James P. Moran. The Teachers Action with Parents and Students CAP winner, Diane L. Smith, alternate Michael J. Cagliati. The Angelique Patricia Williams Memorial Scholarship winner, Denise G. Wachowski, alternate Andrew J. Weaver. The Ted Wright Memorial Award to Michael J. Cagliati. Crowley Communication Scholarship, Peter R. Schultz. Edmund Marvin Scholarship, Kristen E. Sherman. J.D. Chapman Agency Incorporated Scholarship, Amy E. Barkham. Katrina Lynn Alaco Memorial Scholarship, Aaron A. Carney. Ken Casella Memorial Scholarship, Christopher L. Francis. Lisa K. Hart Memorial Scholarship, Stacy J. Rowe. Loyal Order of Moose, number 1420 Scholarship, there are 2, Seth N. Shanahan and Sean R. Kine. Macedon High School Alumni Reunion Scholarship, Tina M. Newman. Macedon Caving and Excavating Scholarship, Christine M. Sobron. New York Telephone Dollars for Scholars Award, Michael H. Wooden. Palmyra Garden Club, Michael E. Basil. Palmyra J.C.'s Larry B. Frame Memorial Scholarship, Nora E. Dennison. Palmyra J.C.'s Peggy Brockheisen Secretarial Science Scholarship, Michelle L. Cush. Palmyra Rotary Scholarship, Michael J. Cagliari. Hal Oil Company Incorporated Scholarship, there are two, Brian D. Ludwig and Denise E. Franco. Randy Freeland Memorial Scholarship, there are two winners, Rodney H. Moses, Jamie M. Cook. Ricky Polpini Memorial Scholarship, Chad A. Sampson. Wayne and Thelma Williamson Scholarship, Kathleen S. French. Early Childhood Education, 1 year perfect attendance, Karen Niedermeyer.
Thank you. These awards are for the Wayne County Vocational Occupational Center, and I'd like, as the names are read, to have these students please stand. A couple of weeks ago, at a rather large ceremony in our newly renovated auditorium, we had a large ceremony where these students were given various awards. We will call their names, and I'd ask that they please stand, and then we will recognize them at once.
Welding and Fabrication, 2 year perfect attendance, Christopher Wade. Early Childhood Education Achievement Award, Beth Bridges. Cosmetology 2 Achievement Award, Christine Landon. Cosmetology 1 Achievement Award, Constance Marr. Welding and Fabrication Achievement Award, Christopher Wade. Auto Body Fellow, Employee, Michael Powell. Early Childhood Education Fellow, Employee, Karen Niedermeyer. Cosmetology 1, Rubens Royal Uniform Company Incorporated, April Angelo. Cosmetology 1, Syracuse Barber and Beauty Supply Incorporated, Peggy Bala. Computer Systems Oh Yes You Can Award, Amy Gerber. Cosmetology 2, Henry Kaiser and Bills Incorporated, Christine Landon. Early Childhood Education, North Rose Lions Club, Karen Niedermeyer. Grad School Nursing, Rubens Royal Uniform Company Incorporated, Erica Ormsby. Welding and Fabrication, Geneva Welding Supplies Incorporated, Christopher Wade.
I'd like to remind everyone today that, as usual, we have inserts with the names of the recipients for this afternoon's program. Those inserts can be obtained by the ladies in the daisy chain. We have ample amounts. If for some reason you leave the Art Center today and do not get a copy, please feel free to call the high school and we'll be happy to make copies available for you. Thank you.
Most of what we really need to know about how to be, what to do, and how to live, we learned in kindergarten. The rules we learned are simple and sound. However, our application is sometimes weak. Many times we find situations in our daily lives where we have failed to apply some of these very basic rules. And many times we do not stop to think what the end result might be. For instance, the first rule we learned was share everything. We as Americans, with the average family having 2 or more television sets and automobiles, forget to share our wealth with the homeless. People on the streets, young and old, who are fishing through garbage for food, begging for spare change, and barely having enough clothing to keep warm. We also learned in our youth to play fair. Many athletes today who are inducing steroids have forgotten this rule, and in so doing not only cheat other athletes, but also cheat themselves out of being the very best. A third rule we learned in kindergarten is do not hit people. The Los Angeles police forgot this rule when they continually brutalized a suspect, beating out of him a sense of security, justice, and respect for the law enforcement system in our country. This racial brutality leaves the entire country disheartened and unsure if the progress made in the past was only temporary. Clean up our own mess is another rule we learned. We wish Saddam Hussein would clean up the massive amounts of oil in the Persian Gulf as easily as we did the Legos and Lincoln Logs. We wish Exxon would ensure a safe environment for the fish, the birds, and the plants in places like Prince William Sound, Alaska, as easily as we cleaned up Plato, if it were only that easy. Furthermore, we learned, do not take things that are not ours. The terrorists who abducted Terry Anderson and the 6 other American hostages in Lebanon ignored this rule when they took the men from their friends and families, thousands of miles from their homes. They have been robbed of their independence, their freedom, and their lives. As kindergartners, we also learn that warm cookies and cold milk are good for us and to take a nap every afternoon. By utilizing a little time each day wisely to relax and to think about where we are going and what we are doing, we can in turn better take care of ourselves. We can in turn better serve our jobs, our friends, and families. As we get older, the problems we make for ourselves become more complex, yet the morality is still the same as we learned in kindergarten. Gathered here today on this graduation platform, it is appropriate to address ourselves to the words of Robert Fulghum. Share everything. Play fair. Do not hit people. Put things back where we found them. Clean up our own mess. Don't take things that are not ours. Say we are sorry when we hurt somebody. Wash our hands before we eat. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for us. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some, and draw and paint and sing and dance and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. When we go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Everything we need to know about politics, basic hygiene, humanity, equality, love, and life are either stated directly or implied in kindergarten. When we do not use and practice the things we have learned, we tend to lose and forget them. We, the graduating class of 1991, as we go out into this topsy-turvy world of computers and drugs, of drive-through banks and fast food, and of policies for this and regulations for that, we must never lose sight and always practice each of these simple rules in our lives. And remember the most important rule? To always hold hands and stick together. John Donne expressed society's need for this unity best when he said, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." I would like to ask Mrs. Sharon Sweeney to please come forward. We, the class of 1991, appreciate the enthusiasm and dedication the members of the Board of Education, administrators, teachers, and staff have displayed throughout our 4 years of education at Palmyra Macedon High School. As a symbol of our gratitude, it is our intention to have the profile of an Indian chief, our school's mascot, painted upon the wall of the new aquatic facility. On behalf of the graduating class of 1991, we thank you for your long-standing encouragement and support to the students of our school.
And the rest of the members of the class of 1991. I think it's a great tradition we have here at Palmac where the graduating seniors give a gift to their school. It says, "We were here and remember us." And so that offers us one way to remember you, but also all of your accomplishments that you have made over the years that you've been here offer us many other opportunities to remember you. While I have a few minutes, I'd like to say congratulations. You've made it. You're here. You must all feel very proud of yourselves, for as Erica said to you earlier, you didn't give up. You had the will to succeed, and you did. One thing that you've learned is that you can set a goal and you can achieve it. This will be very important to you in your future. The diploma you receive today will open many doors for you, but it will only open those doors. You will have to walk through them. And so I encourage you to continue to do what you've learned to do, to be successful. congratulations, and I wish you all the best in your future on behalf of the Board of Education.
become celebrities. Not many of us will earn six-digit salaries. Not many of us will live forever in history books. We all have dreams and goals which we hope to achieve, but we often confuse the realization of these dreams and goals with the achievement of success. We have to ask ourselves, what is really important for us to become? We should all become, as President Bush suggested, points of light. Few attain fame and fortune, but successful people do surround us. We need to look no further than to the Little League coaches, the scout leaders, the boy next door who delivers groceries to the elderly, and to all those who demonstrate integrity and service to others. They are the people that hold our society together. As future adults, we should emulate them, for they display the qualities for which we should strive. Integrity needs to be resurrected as the basis for our lives, both professionally and personally. In the 1980s, this quality was severely neglected. As a result, Americans will have to pay billions of dollars for the savings and loans bailout. Business became a Machiavellian industry, as demonstrated by inside trader Ivan Volsky. In addition, a recent study done on college students revealed that most of them had cheated at some point in their college careers. This disturbing trend must change. We are through with the me decade. Let us move on to a we decade, in which our goals are to live life with honesty and a concern for each other. We need to create a society in which our children can be proud. For us to accomplish this goal, we must take a more active role in our community. Volunteerism is an essential part of community life. By volunteering, we fulfill needs that would otherwise remain void. Involvements such as coaching youth sports, helping someone learn to read, may appear to be insignificant on a large scale, but those are the activities that keep kids off the streets and raise the percentage of literate Americans. This country needs good role models for its children, compassion for those who receive none, and quality education for all. We can fulfill those needs by taking the time to share our talents. This class before you has always been considered talented. It is our challenge to enter the world and make a difference. Too often, our society measures the success of people by where they went to college, what their annual income is, and what awards they receive. So, it is difficult to remember that finally getting through to a struggling student is as much of a success as winning the Nobel Prize for Physics. Those who go through life with integrity and service to others have achieved as much success as someone who has attained the goals we all sought as children. Through our concerted efforts, we, the class of 1991, must and will do our part in society to make the Palmyra Macedon communities truly proud of their students and of their school.
Before we give out the diplomas, I would like to make two other awards. Usually at this time we do. One to the valedictorian, the other to the salutatorian. Before I do, I would like to commend both Michael Wooden and Michael Pagliatti, and their parents and their relatives for giving us two outstanding individuals. Both gentlemen have been running a nip and tuck race for at least 4 years, and it was a very close call and a very close decision. Again, I would like to commend both Michaels and their families, and again, thank the parents for entrusting them to our school system. At this time, I'd like to call Michael Pagliatti forward, the valedictorian for the class of 1991. And the salutatorian for the class of 1991, Michael Wooden. In just a moment, we will be giving the diplomas, offering congratulations on both sides. For the graduates will be the Superintendent of Schools for Palmyra, Macedon, Dr. James Hogan, Mrs. Sharon Sweeney, President of the Board of Education, and board members. They are Mr. Kenneth Bradstreet, Mrs. Nancy Hood, Mrs. Judith Jensen, Mr. Gary LaBerge, Mr. Terry Leone, and Mr. R. Andrew Sloan. We will begin the presentation momentarily. I would ask at this time that the superintendent and the board members please come forward. We will be distributing the diplomas to the graduates on my right first.
Kristen Elizabeth Sherman. Rodney Harold Moses. Thomas Aaron Sajowski. Thomas Robert Jeffrey. Michelle Lee Kennedy. James Patrick Moran. Deanna Lynn Jasinski. Charles Gabriel Herendine. Heather May Robert Halstead. Stephen Michael Sangiano. Kimberly Ann Bauer. Jeffrey Michael Orvik. Melissa Lynn Jock. Michael Harold Wooden. Denise Diane Rukowski. Andrew Andrew J. Weaver. Michelle Marie Mankey. Christopher Lee Francis. Denise Elizabeth Brongo. Stephen James Snavely. Melody Lynn Carey. Brian David Adams. Stacy Jean Rose. Jason Thomas Smith. Seth Nathan Shanahan. Cynthia Helen Bennett. Travis R. Williams. Tracy Lynn Plum. Gregory James Doyle. Tina Marie Newman. Thomas Francis Alina. Heather Ann Palmyra. Peter Robert Schultz. Janice M. Lee. Eric John Knapp. Jennifer Louise Bichette. Jeffrey Pinkney Kedlasik. Diane Lee Smith. Michael Emil Basil. Deborah Ann Smith. James Francis Freiberger. Tracy Ann Rosell. James Michael Rupian. Aaron Ellis Carney. Corey Vincent Barber. Allison Lee Cook. John Pagliatti. Michelle Louise Tush. Jason Carl Bayless. Michelle Ann Reynolds. Sergio Luca Case. Constance Marie Young. Christopher Henry Wade. Peggy Baldauf. Brian David Ludwig. Christine Marie Sobri. Michael Peter Storelli Jr. Chad Allen Rogers. Michelle Lee Powers. Constance Elaine Marr. Bridget T. Leva. Katrina Marie Bush. Heather Diane Gagne. Kathleen Susan French. Chad Allen Sampson. Patricia Lynn Kinnear. Robert Alton Baldwin. Dawn Marie McAvenny. James Scott McDuff. Christine Marie Baker. Charles Andrew East. Deborah Lorraine Akers. Ryan Christopher Rugaber. Bethany Ann Bridges. Dale Jason Bryan. Yvonne Melissa Latham. Michael Thomas Powell. Kimberly Ann Marvin. Wendell Guy Yearden. Amy Laura George. Aaron Norman Lyon. Beth Marie Bushart. Kevin Scott Bell. Tammy Lee Cole. Guy Donald Andrews. Jeannie Marie Nagel. Richard John Fogan. Heather Joy Abbott. Cynthia Ann Collier. Brian John Preston. Diane Karen Unger. Eric Joseph Bruning. April Lynn Angelo. Edward John Moscow III. Marion Sophie Adul. Jason Morrow. Tara Lynn Burkhardt. Sean Ray Hines. Amy Lynn Volkman. Michael Scott Lord. Karen Marie Niedermeyer. Jeffrey Todd Hurt. Melanie Eaton Mortis. Brian Patrick Nolan. Erica Jean Ormsby. Matthew Guy Davis. Heather Jane Crowley. Craig Altenberg Fenrick. Jennifer Marie Hack. Ronald George Schomer II. Tracy Ann Allen. Bruce Allen Jones. Sally Jean Hay. Karen Jane Henry. Amy Sue Gerber. Scott Darl Kosher. Sharon Jennifer Kingston. Jamie Michael Cook. Marie Lynn Bevan. John Frederick Boheen. Christopher Robert Crane. Jerry Morales Rivera. Christine Marie Greer. Christine Marie Landon. Amy Elizabeth Barkham. Carol Eleanor Dennison. Minister.
Please stand for the benediction. In an age of challenging change, may God, our eternal Father, keep you in his care and watch over you always. In a world of self-seeking and conflict, may Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace who gave himself for us, bless you with his unfailing love and everlasting joy. In a time of uncertainty and confusion, may God the Holy Spirit give you solid faith, equip you to serve, and provide you with true joy, enduring peace, and a solid foundation. Amen.
Class of 1991? We have graduated.